Okay, so with this important concept of the Pythagorean theorem, we can also calculate the distance between 2 points in the coordinate system. How do we do this? So let's have this example. We have right here, this point right here is 4,5, and this point right here is 0,1. Okay, and we want to know the distance between these 2 points, which in this case will be C. If you notice, these 2 points create a right angle, right? The line that goes along being parallel to the x-axis right here until the point where this line is, and another line going parallel to the y-axis going up here to the second point. Okay, so we have a way on how to go from point 0,1 to 4,5. We go all the way here, and a way on how to calculate this distance could be with the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we have also this equation right here. This equation is obtained from the Pythagorean theorem. How do we obtain this equation? Well, first of all, we have that the Pythagorean theorem is c squared equal to a squared plus b squared. In this triangle right here, we have a over here and b over here. A and b can be exchangeable. This could be b and this could be a, as long as they are added to each other right here. See? Okay, so how do we go from this equation, this is the Pythagorean theorem, to this equation right here? Well, we know that to calculate A, we need to get the distance in the x-axis from point 4,5 and 0,1. Remember that the x-coordinate is 4 and the x-coordinate here is 0. Okay, so to know this distance, we count how many steps in the x direction are to go from this point to this point. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. How do we know this? Well, we can subtract the x coordinates. We can say that 4 minus 0. Okay, so we say here that A is equal to 4 minus 0. 4 being the x coordinate of this point and 0 being the x coordinate of this point. How do we calculate B? Well, B is the same process, but now using the x coordinate. Okay, so how many points do I have? How many steps do I have to go from this point to this point vertically? Well, we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We could also say 5, which is the y coordinate of this point, minus 1, which is the y coordinate of this point. So if we say 5 minus 1, we obtain the 4 steps to go that are required to go from one point to another. Okay, so let's substitute this a and b in this equation. We have that c squared is equal to, what is a? 4 minus 0 squared plus, what is b? 5 minus 1 squared. And this is the c right here is square, it goes to the other side as a square root. We end up as c is equal to the square root of 4 minus 0 square plus 5 minus 1 square. And remember here that 4 is the x-coordinate of point 2, 0 is the x-coordinate of point 1, 5 is the y-coordinate of point 2, and 1 is the y-coordinate of point 1. And if you pay attention, this equation right here is the same as this equation right here. We call C distance, because it's a distance from one point to another, and is x2, which is the x coordinate of point 2, minus the x coordinate of point 1 square, plus the y coordinate of point 2 minus the y coordinate of point 1 square. Again, this equation, the equation of distance between 2 points, is obtained from the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so this whole thing was the explanation on how we got from the Pythagorean theorem to the distance equation. Okay, so to solve the distance between these 2 points, we just solve for the square root. C will be equal to the square root of 4 minus 0 is 4 square, plus 5 minus 1 is 4, so 4 square. And this is equal to 4 square root of 2, which is the same as 5.66. Okay, so this distance right here is equal to 5.66. And this is how we solve for distances. So let's solve for these other two distances that we have right here using this equation. We have distance 1. Let's set up the equation to solve for distance 1. Let's call it the 1 is equal to square root of, okay, so we need the x coordinate of point 2. That will be 5, right? Point 1, point 2. You can also call it point 2, point 1, point 2. It doesn't matter as long as it goes first x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. So first the x coordinate of one point and the y coordinate of the same point, and then the x coordinate of the second point, and then the y coordinate of the second point. Everything has to be in order. Okay, so x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 1, square, plus y2 minus 5 minus y1, which is minus 2. Okay, so minus 2. Okay, so let's fix this. Okay, and this will be equal to the square root of 5 minus 1, that will be 4 square, plus minus 5 minus a minus, that will be plus, so minus 5 plus 2, that will be minus 3 square. Okay, and this will be equal to square root of 16 plus 9, that will be the square root of 25, which is equal to 5. Okay, so this distance right here, distance 1, is equal to 5. Okay, so let's do the distance 2. D2 is equal to square root of, let's call this one 0.1 and this one 0.2. And we have x2 is minus 1 minus x1 is minus 4 square, plus y2 will be minus 3 minus y1 will be 3 square. This will be equals to minus 1 minus a minus is plus, that will be 3 positive, 3 square, plus minus 3 minus 3, that will be minus 6 square. And this will be equal to square root of 9 plus 36, and this is equal to 3 square root of 5. Okay, so this distance 2 right here is 3 square root of 5. Okay, so this is how we calculate the distance between 2 points. So let's move on and do more exercises.